Hello everybody out there, hope you're enjoying our video chat so far. Welcome to episode 3 of the Local Football Chat with myself, Grant Johnson, and the legend Andre Arendse. We've had 2 episodes so far. Andre, tell us a bit about those 2.
Very informative, and I think they were discussion points that were necessary and needed. We spoke about our Bafana journeys, both you and I, different sort of eras of the game, if you like. Mine from a playing perspective, yours from a coaching perspective. And then of course we chatted about a very, very critical topic in South African football, and that is the state of goalkeeping at the moment. So very informative there. And we move on to yet another one today, Grant.
Yeah, today it might be a bit more relaxed, and we're going to discuss some of our travels in Africa and what it's like for a team, whether it's a club team playing in the Champions League in Africa, or the national team, Bafana playing somewhere in Africa, and some of the tribulations that we go through on these trips, and give you a bit of background as to how things go.
Well, I think if we delve into that specific topic, I think both of us have had experiences of our own in terms of traveling. Now, a lot of people who are passionate and they're fans of the game of football tend to think that football and being involved in football, whether it's as a player or whether it's as a coach, is a glamorous job. Sometimes not so glamorous when you have to travel for thousands of miles just to get to a game, particularly the challenging ones where you have to travel into Africa.
Most definitely. And a lot of the trips we travel, people think we're in business class and fancy trips, and it's not like that at all. When we're flying commercial airlines, which is most of the trips, you're flying via different destinations to get to the town that you have to play in, and some of those may take up to 24 hours to get to your destination, and then you're playing a game a day or 2 later. So there's quite a lot of logistics involved, a lot of traveling. It's very tiring. When you're with the national team, you're playing 2 games within 10 days. Probably it's normally one home and one away, or one away and then one home. So it's quite difficult to keep the players alert and alive and not so tired from travel.
Yeah, and how does that affect the training side of it? Because we've got to remember that when you're traveling into Africa, and I experienced that as a player playing for the national team, and from a coaching perspective, when you're spending so much time traveling, remember, as the head coach of the national team, you've only got your players for a certain amount of time. Does that play a big role in how you structure training sessions and the type of work that you want to do with your players?
Most definitely. So recently we played in Uganda, as you know, and then the second game was in Cape Town. So you've only got 10 days to play a game in Uganda and a game in Cape Town. Fortunately, SAFA arranged a chartered airline, so we flew direct from South Africa to Uganda, and then from Uganda direct to Cape Town. What that did for us, it created an extra training day for us. Because normally we would go via Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, or one of those countries, or Dar es Salaam, and then only to your destination, and then to a different town that you play in. I'll tell you a similar story just now when we went to Nigeria. And so it gave us an extra training day, which helped. We won both games, home and away, and I put it down to the logistics, which was spot on. The hotel was good, the travel was good, it was easy in and out. So definitely, if those arrangements are spot on, it most definitely helps the team.
What about when you're traveling to Africa, nutrition, in terms of how important that is for players? And I'll tell you a little bit of a story when I was in the national team back in the 90s and early 2000s, where we had a trip into Africa, and of course you've got to eat. That's an important part of your travels. So a lot of the time you're exposed to the local food, the countries that you're traveling to, and sometimes it's not always the best when it comes to the nutrition side and the type of food that you're used to. And I know it's gotten a lot better now in the modern game of international football. But I got to a stage personally where, before I left South Africa with the team to fly into Africa for a game, no matter where that would be, one of the first things I packed was a bottle of Tabasco sauce. Because I figured you have to eat, and you have to eat the local food. And if you don't taste it, you don't taste it, but at least you're eating it. And then the game sort of grew where we then decided that we should look at taking our own chef with us, for example, someone who's going to understand the needs of the players when it comes to the type of food that we needed to eat, and that helped the players because it kept us in better shape, and nutrition was good. What is the current state of that side of the game at international level?
So when we're traveling now, well, the last few countries we've been to, the hotels have been very good. So we've stayed in the Hiltons and the Radisson Blues and the nice hotels, and the food there is good. One of the countries that we went to had a local South African chef, which helped. But generally what happens is the team doctor will send the hotel a menu for the week or the amount of days that we're there of what the expectations are for the meals for the players. And when the doctor arrives there, the first thing he does is goes and checks, do they have the menu, goes and checks the food in the kitchen, looks at the preparation area, all of those things. But what we were taught in the beginning, or in a discussion, was there's certain things that you don't eat if things are open. For example, a fruit that's got a peel on it, you have to peel, 100% no problem.
Yeah.
But if it's lettuce or something like that that's lying in the open, just be wary of it. So there's certain ways that you eat, and generally when I travel, I end up with chicken and rice. It's kind of my safe route. I know you love fish, so
Yeah.
but yeah, it's you learn to eat the right way, and we haven't had any problems over the last couple of years.
Now, when you're traveling long distances in Africa, as we've all done during our time in the national team, the players become tired, they become weary. A lot of their sort of, I suppose, recovery is built on their sleep patterns, and the quality of the hotels, I suppose, and the beds they sleep on. Now, I know back in the day, when you're traveling into Africa for a game, that particular host country has to make sure that they put you up in hotels because they take care of all of that. And sometimes the hotels, whether it was an honest mistake or not, they were testing. They weren't some of the best hotels, and it was a big test for the players in terms of the quality of sleep they got in those hotels and what the quality of the actual hotel was. Is that still the case?
No, so I think back in the day that was part of the team strategy, was to mess you around and give you horrible food and horrible hotel, because they were the ones that were hosting you. They had to book the accommodation, so they would put you in a hotel with either a busy casino or somewhere that had a nightclub and that would have loud music till 2 a.m. That was part of a team strategy, so that you wouldn't perform. These days it's up to your own country to arrange those accommodations and you know, the hotels and travel and buses, and so the team manager would go a month or 2 in advance. He would go and have a look at the hotels and book a decent hotel, and then also check the distance from the hotel to the stadium, for example, for training, if
Traffic and all that.
traffic, if there's a training ground available, if we need a training ground, because the day before before any game you get to train at the stadium at the time of the game. So the team manager needs to go and check all of those things in advance. But so these days it's got a lot better. If the team manager does his job properly, then we're all right.
He's a vital component of the national team, if you like, if that's what the game is centered around. But what I will say is, for our viewers out there, especially our young aspiring footballers who want to represent your country one day, this is not to put you off this discussion. This is just painting a picture of the kind of mental toughness that you need when you're traveling into Africa as well. But the glamour is still around the game, of course, with the ultimate being a chance to represent your country. And as Grant and I will tell you, that is, you don't get anything better or bigger than representing your national team. Well, folks, listen, let's just say, please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. It's free. We look forward to you playing a part, of course, in the discussion points, and any comments that you might have, or any questions that you might need answered in terms of how you want to aspire to represent football at the highest level, and of course your country at the highest level in the future. So that's been the reason why we've chosen this particular topic.
Amazing. And like Andre said, we look forward to hearing from you guys. Please comment at the bottom and let us know what you think. Give us some advice, give us some questions you want us to talk about. And I think we'd have to do a second one on the trips to Africa, because there's a few funny stories we could tell as well. So maybe that'll be another episode. And it's been great chatting to you. We look forward to this every day, having a chat with you guys. We want to give you a video once a week. And again, I think we look good, and we look forward to chatting to you soon. Cheers.